Today's class is for BBA second year students, and we will discuss the subject called business environment and business law. Dear students, as we all know, in the last video we were completed the important question, that is scope of business as well as the different forms of business organization or types of business organization. So in today's video, we will cover one of the important aspect of your unit 1, that is the interrelationship between business and industry. Interrelationship between business and industry. Now, the interrelationship between business and industry can also be the relationship that exists between the industry, trade and commerce. The relationship between, or the interrelationship between the business and industry is nothing but the relationship between industry, trade and commerce. Why? Because business has broadly been classified into TW, two different segments. One is industry and second is commerce. Commerce again are of two types, trade and auxiliaries to trade. So if we in total discuss the relationship between industry, trade and commerce, we will completely able to understand the interrelationship between business and industry. So we can say the relationship between that exists between the industry, trade and commerce is also the relationship between that exists between the business and industry. Now, as we all know, each aspect is completely meaningless with the other. For example, if we see, the industry is meaningless without trade and commerce, the commerce is meaningless without industry and trade. So both or all the three factors are heavily dependent upon each other. Heavily dependent upon each other. What does this mean, or what does it indicates? This indicates that we need to study the complete interrelationship between the industry, trade and commerce. Now, what is industry? As we all know, industry means, it is in simple terms, in industry is a collection of sellers, where a number of sellers combine together or when grouped together, that forms one industry. For example, take the case of one mobile industry. In the case of mobile industry, all the mobile manufacturing companies, they are together constitute the mobile industry. Take the example of cement industry, where all the cement manufacturing companies, if combined together, that became the cement industry. So industry is nothing but it is a collection of different sellers across India. Now, commerce. What is commerce? Commerce ultimately aims at distributing the goods and services to the consumers, or commerce always aims how the goods should reach to the ultimate consumer, that or how the goods must be properly distributed from the place of manufacture to the place of actual consumption, that is the place of customers. So trade. What is trade? The second part is trade. Trade is nothing but purchasing or buying and selling of goods or services is called as trade. Trade again we already been covered in a detailed manner. Domestic trade, foreign trade, interstate trade, interstate trade, various types of trade we have already been discussed. So basic meaning of trade is that trade always saying buying and selling of goods, or exchange of goods or services is comes under trade. So all these three terms, industry, trade, commerce, always directed towards a common goal, that is making the business successful. So if the businessmen want to success, then all these factors like industry, we can say trade, we can say commerce, should always be properly interrelated. Now, how these three factors, that is industry, trade and commerce, are interrelated to each other, we will see one practical example where you people will easily able to understand the interrelationship between these three. Now, suppose one industry is there or one particular company is there. Say one cement manufacturing company. Fine, one cement manufacturing company. So, one cement manufacturing company is doing its business in the local area. That means the cement manufacturing company or owner manufactures the cement and sells in the local market only. Now, when the business expands due to its good quality product, now one day that cement manufacturing company got a call from another wholesaler of cement who is staying in another city or such a city far away from the local city, say Kolkata. Suppose this is the local city, say Delhi. For example, the cement manufacturing company presently stays at Delhi. Now, one day the cement manufacturing company got a call from another wholesaler who is presently staying far away from the local city, that is Kolkata. So, one wholesaler of Kolkata of Kolkata make a call to the cement manufacturing company over telephone to dispatch 500 trucks of cement. So how he made the order? Through telephone. So the wholesaler of Kolkata takes the help of a mobile phone or telephone to make the or to dispatch or to make the order. Telecommunication. TC stands for telecommunication. So the wholesaler of Kolkata make a phone call to the cement manufacturing company over telephone. So the wholesaler takes the help of a telephone. Now, once the cement manufacturing company got the call from the retailer of Kolkata, the cement manufacturing company owner says that, okay, I will dispatch you the goods, but you do one thing, you just kindly give us the official mail of placing the order or purchase requisition through mail, so that I will be 100% sure that yes, this is not a fake call, and accordingly I will dispatch you the goods, because both the persons are unknown to each other. So the cement manufacturing company, since dealing with the Kolkata party for the first time, hence the cement manufacturing company owner says to the wholesaler that you make a purchase order through email. So what the retailer of Kolkata does, he makes a email or takes the help of internet for making the purchase requisition. So what is that? The wholesaler of Kolkata makes the phone call through internet by using the email or Gmail to the cement manufacturing company. So at present, the cement manufacturing is got the official mail regarding dispatching the goods or regarding the order or purchase order, you may say purchase order from Kolkata. So now the cement company is 100% sure that the party of or the wholesaler of Kolkata is really asking for 500 trucks or 500 trucks of what you may say the cement. Now he is arranging for the dispatch activities. So he started, the cement manufacturing company started transporting the goods. So the cement manufacturing company sells the goods through transport. As I said, there are various means of transport. So in this case, only two alternatives may be available: maybe road transport or maybe rail transport. So maybe through rail transport or maybe through road transport, the cement manufacturing company sends that good to the party of wholesaler who is presently staying in Kolkata through transport. So the cement manufacturing company is taking the help of transport or transportation facility, maybe road transport or maybe rail transport, as convenient to them or according to their suitability. Now, after the cement manufacturing company sells the goods, it is up to their mutual consent, mutual agreement between the seller and buyer, that is cement manufacturing company and wholesaler at Kolkata. They may do one thing: either before dispatching the goods, the cement manufacturing company may ask for payment, or after dispatching the goods, or after you may say receiving the goods, the wholesaler after receiving the goods may send the money to the cement manufacturing company. It all depends upon your mutual consent. Generally what happens, if since in this case they are not unknown, they are completely unknown to each other, or they are dealing with the first time, hence the cement manufacturing company will not take any risk, hence he will ask for the payment before dispatching the goods. As the transaction progresses, it means after making, we may say, 4 to 5 transactions, when the cement manufacturing company takes the wholesaler into confidence that yes, this is our regular party or this is our regular customer who always demands for huge amount of goods, so he may extend credit also. So this usually happens after 4 to 5 business transactions. Since in the example both the parties are completely unknown to each other, so definitely the cement manufacturing company will ask for advance payment. Now the wholesaler who is staying in Kolkata will make the payment through checks, or by going to the, or by taking the online apps. He will transfer the money from his account to the cement manufacturing company's account. So he will credit the respective purchase amount, that is been cost of the product, to the cement manufacturing company's account. So what the wholesaler do? The wholesaler in this case, while making the payment, has to take the help of a banking facility, maybe through check, maybe through demand draft, or maybe through online banking apps like Google Pay, Phone Pay, or even other online modes of payment. So the cement manufacturing company and the wholesaler are taking the help of a banking system for making the payment or for receiving the payment from cement manufacturing company side. So what they do, they take the help of banking system. It means the wholesaler of Kolkata will definitely plan for arrangement of money or arrangement of payment to the cement manufacturing company through the banking system. As I said, maybe through check, maybe through demand draft, or maybe through any other online mode. Now, this transaction regularly goes on. The cement manufacturing company gets regular calls across different cities of India, because it started sending the goods to beyond the local city. So the cement manufacturing company gets different orders across the different parts of India. Now one day the cement manufacturing company thinks, I am sending a lot of goods through transportation, so there may be the risk that may arise due to goods, because during the transit, we may say during the process of transit or during the process of transportation, certain amount of risk may also arise. Now what are those risks? goods may be stolen, goods may be stolen, or goods may be destroyed by fire, or the vehicle may got an accident. Again, the goods automatically destroyed, because once the vehicle got an accident, then automatically the or some portion of or some part of the goods will definitely be damaged. You may say damaged, not lost, damaged. Or there are other means of losses or risk also. Uh, if the product is, or if the goods is highly perishable in nature, like petrol and diesel, then that product may be evaporated during the process of transit. Evaporation is a natural process. For example, if the party which cement petrol, suppose take the case of petroleum products, suppose 10,000 liters of petrol has been dispatched from the place of manufacture. Now while reaching to the point of actual consumption, at least 5 to 10 liters of petrol will automatically evaporated due to sun, due to air, and due to the natural factors, other natural factors. So if the product is perishable in nature, then the product may also be evaporated during the process of transit. So a lot of risk that may arise during the process of transit. Now the cement manufacturing company, being a smart businessman, thinks, let us avoid the risk. How to avoid? Insurance is the best facility. By properly insuring the goods, or by making the goods insured, the goods can easily be avoided from the loss of risk. So the cement manufacturing company takes the help of insurance, or making the goods insured, so that if any kind of loss that may arise due to the many kind of risk, as I discussed right now, or as I told you right now, that may be properly insured. So once the goods are insured, then if any kind of damage, any kind of loss that may arise to the goods, the respective insurance company where the goods are being insured will make the payment to the cement manufacturing company. So the cement manufacturing company takes the help of insurance. The cement manufacturing company takes the help of insurance. Now, as the business progresses, the cement manufacturing company also arranges for proper warehousing, because as you know, only when goods are properly being stored in a safety and secure manner, then only the goods may be easily ready for dispatch as and when demanded by different customers, or as and when required by the different parties like wholesalers. Since this is a manufacturing company, so customers cannot be directly order that. All the wholesalers, all the C&F agents will place the order. So the cement manufacturing company has to plan for extension of warehouses, extension of or construction of new warehouses or proper warehousing facility, so that the goods should be properly been secured and ready for dispatch as and when demanded by different wholesalers and consignment and freight agents, C&F agents. So the cement manufacturing company properly arranges for the warehousing system. The cement manufacturing company properly arranges for the what you can say, the warehousing system for safety dispatch of goods, or for safety keeping of the goods. Now again, the cement manufacturing company, since it is a growing concern right now, because it is able to expand its business across India. So hence we can say the cement manufacturing company is presently a very much fastly growing company in India. So he requires some sort of finance. Now why this is required, the students have already been told you in the previous classes, that while discussing the basic concept of business, what does it indicates? Every company, maybe a small company, maybe a medium scale company, maybe a large scale company, will definitely require certain amount of finance. No company can exist with its, you may say, the own capital. Every company cannot be established with the, you can say, the own capital. Every company must always plan for some amount of borrowed capital, because finance or arrangement of money is such a, or arrangement of capital is such a thing that it cannot be adjusted or it cannot be compromised, because only when we have sufficient finance, or only when we have sufficient capital with us, then only we can think for growth and expansion and increase the profitability relatively. So every company requires some sort of finance from its own sources as well as from its borrowed sources. A huge company or a large concern requires borrowed funds, whereas a small scale unit also requires its some amount of borrowed funds. By investing with the own funds, that is owner's equity or capital, no business can survive in today's competitive world. So in order to survive, in order to give neck to neck competition to our competitors, every company must always arrange for proper finance. So accordingly, the cement manufacturing company, in this example, the cement manufacturing company, since it is a growing concern, is again looking for the finance. Is again looking for the finance of, or financing of the loans, or financing of the capital. Now again the business requires some extra amount of money. So by doing the finance, the, you may say, different bankers, different you may say the financial institutions, IDBI, IFCI, ICICI is providing the loans. So due to some reason, if the funds are not sufficient or not able to meet the challenges of the cement manufacturing company, so the cement manufacturing company requires again a additional fund. So what, one day the cement manufacturing company thinks that I will go for the share market for raising the loans or for raising the funds. So the cement manufacturing company now thinks for issue of shares and issue of debentures, or issue of shares or issue of debentures in the share market. So once the company is thinking for going to the share market, then the cement or the company, any company, the cement manufacturing company has to listed his name or listed the company's name in the stock exchange. So he goes for listing of the company name in the stock exchange for raising the funds, because once we registered the company's name in the stock exchange, then the company can easily issue various shares or debentures and accordingly can raise the funds. So the cement manufacturing company now plan for listing the company's name in the stock exchange. Listing the company's name in the stock exchange. So if we just summarize this example, first, both cement manufacturing company and wholesaler taking the help of telecommunication, then they take the help of internet, then they take the help of transportation, then they take the help of banking system, for making the payment, then they think about insurance for making the goods insured, again warehousing, they take the help of warehousing system for safety and secure of keeping the goods in a safe manner, again they think for financing of different loans so that the company can easily able to, you may say, raise its capital, again they at the end think for stock exchange. Now what does this indicates? Again we may say also the cement manufacturing company may also plan for exportation of goods also. One more very important thing, export. The cement manufacturing company may also plan for exporting the goods abroad India, because as the company is a growing company, so he may got he may get the orders from abroad India also or different countries. So the cement manufacturing company started, you may say, the exporting the goods, started exporting the goods, company's goods to the different parties who is staying abroad. So all these things, again we concluded export. So all these things is nothing but comes in the concept of trade and commerce. So once we started with the cement, that is the industry or cement manufacturing industry, or it is coming under manufacturing industry, because industry again of various types. So we have already been discussed that. So cement manufacturing company is comes under manufacturing industry. So the cement manufacturing industry takes the help of trade and commerce. All these things are again not repeating, all those boxes that have been made, all those boxes that have been made on the chart is nothing but the components of trade and commerce. Now dear students, from this example you will be easily able to understand that industry, trade and commerce are very closely interrelated to each other, are very closely interrelated to each other. Even if one single factor is missing, then the whole process becomes meaningless, then the whole process becomes meaningless. How? Take the example of a transportation facility. If there is not proper transportation facility, then all the chart or all the whole chart become meaningless, because the cement manufacturing company is not able to transport the goods. Then the banking system meaningless, because the wholesaler will pay only when he receives the goods. So what I meant to say by giving the example, even a single factor, maybe transport, maybe banking system, maybe insurance, maybe export, maybe warehousing system, maybe stock exchange, maybe finance, maybe telecommunication, maybe internet. Even if a single factor is missing, then also proper distribution of goods from the place of manufacture, that is the cement company, the place of manufacture to the ultimate consumer. In this example, no consumers are there. So the, you can say, the wholesaler will dispatch the goods to the retailer, and the retailer will dispatch the goods to the ultimate consumer, because the wholesaler is taking or purchasing the goods for reselling purpose only, for reselling to the retailer, and the retailer will sell it to the customer. So uh, all the factors are vital, are very essential, or each individual factor. So all the individual factors that is been there on the chart is highly essential for making the process very successful, making the process very successful, so that we may easily say a close relationship always exist between industry, trade and commerce. I think you people will understand with the example how industry, that is cement, trade and commerce, all the factors that we discussed with the chart, how industry, trade and commerce are closely interrelated to each other. Now if we make a comparison, now if we make a proper comparison between the industry, trade and commerce. Industry, what does industry means? Industry is nothing but the extraction, or you may say the reproduction or processing of the raw materials into the finished product. So it is nothing but processing industry is a place where all the products have been properly processed from raw material stage to finished goods stage, maybe through extraction, maybe through reproduction, maybe through production, or maybe through during the process or manufacturing process, the raw materials are being converted after proper processing to finished goods. So this is the industry. Then trade. Trade involves buying and selling of goods. Trade involves buying and selling of goods through wholesalers, through retailers, to consignment agents. All the trading facilities have been done. Now commerce. Commerce, what does it mean? Commerce indicates proper distribution of goods. Commerce is nothing but, as I said from the very beginning in today's video also, commerce always aims proper distribution of goods. So once again, if you repeat, the industry is the processing stage where all the goods are being properly manufactured. Trade involves buying and selling of goods, maybe through wholesaler, maybe through retailer. Commerce always aims at proper distribution of the goods from the place of manufacture to the place of consumption. That already I told you with giving the one of the example in today's video. Now if we see or think about the uh, capital part or investment part, you may also say capital. Since we are discussing the business, so capital always plays a vital role, as you all know. So the capital investment or investing in capital in the case of industry will be generally very high. Industry may be generally very high. In the case of trade, it may be low or moderate depending upon the size of trade. Now in the case of commerce, again the capital investment is very low. So industry, the capital requirement is very high. Trade may be low or moderate. Why I am telling this? It depends upon the size of the business. If larger is the business, larger will be the capital investment. Lower is the business, lower will be the capital investment. And in the case of commerce, since it includes only distribution of goods, so even a low amount of capital or very low amount of capital again will solve the problem. So this is all about the comparison. So dear students, in today's video what we've discussed, the relationship between business and industry, the interrelationship between business and industry, or you may say the interrelationship between industry, trade and commerce. Both are having the same meaning. Industry, trade and commerce, what we've discussed by giving the example is nothing but the interrelationship between business and you may also say industry, business and industry. So and also we discussed the proper comparison between industry, trade and commerce. Students, that's it for today's video. Thank you.